All right, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Bitcoin Trade. And sorry if y'all had to wait. Um, from now on, as requested by a viewer, that I upload my chart analysis that day. And so um, it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning out here in Houston. And so here's the chart analysis, okay, with my lines. And let's just go over it. So this is okay, Bitstamp on a 2 hour. I'm gonna zoom in and zoom out, okay, so don't worry. And this is the lines that I have, and I just want to show you this real quick because I'm gonna zoom out to like a day, one day, and I'll show you where I got all my lines. Okay, so there it is. There's my lines. um, so what you see here, here to here, and then it just, well, here, let me just use my, sometimes, you think technology, it's kind of weird. As much as technology helps you, it's also a hindrance. Here, I'll just use my pen, all right? So, uh, this line is from this point to that hard resistant line, all right, downtrending line. Um, this here is another line from this point to this point, so it just kind of goes out. But this was the other downtrending line. And if you see my previous episode, there was another line right here, and then as soon as it broke out, it popped up. Like I did mention it'll pop up or pop down. I don't predict this stuff. I kind of trade on what happens. I don't trade on predictions. I do trade on what I feel is a good trade, a value trade. Um, so just because it's downtrending doesn't mean I'm not going to buy. I will buy. Matter of fact, I've been buying. Okay, so so there's the, if you've seen some of the previous videos, there was a made a made a line here, and it finally broke out. It popped out, and so it looks like it's even breaking out of this downward channel. So it broke out of there, and I drew some other lines. I mean, I guess I should draw another line here just to. So let me just draw another line because this is going to make a big difference in how you think of your trades. Kinda. There you go. There's another line here, and they seem to all match up. Look at that. I've mentioned about these 2 points as being a good, really good support, and look how they just kind of, the lines just match up here. Um, if you were gauging this, and if you actually put a buy order, you probably slightly missed it, but as I mentioned before, you want to put it somewhere above that because everybody knows that that's kind of like a good support, and the price will never go down that far. So you have to kind of put your limit orders a little bit above where you think the bottom would be, because everyone knows that may be a good support and it'll never go down that far. So kudos to anybody who put a limit order right at this point around here, because you just made a lot of money. And then of course, there was a lot of support here. So it's broken out and it's been following this channel. So let's go back into, let me see, a 6 hour. And now that, let me just back out a little bit to a daily. So now we're getting some real good volatility. We're getting a lot of volatile price movements. So you have to really back out 1 day, 3 days, 1 week if you have to understand what is going on. So that's why the long time period. Some people trade on a daily time frame. I mean, they trade for, and when they buy and they hold on for months, sometimes years. You know, so those traders, they're in it for the long haul, which that's why they don't sweat it. When the price goes down, they'll buy more, and the price goes down even more, they'll buy even more, or they buy the same amount, they just get a lot more Bitcoins. All right. And then when you get a little pop or a big pop, in comparison, I know in comparison, like some of these actions, this is just a regular movement, but recently this is a pretty good pop, and it broke out of this trending down line and this trending down line. It's coming up against the hard line, the hard resistance, downward resistance here, and it really hasn't tested it yet. It's working its way up to it though, and it's at a good pace. So this is 6 hour. So you're looking at 6 hour, and this was when it's downtrending, you gotta realize, if you're not gonna, even if you're buying Bitcoins here, I know you're losing money while it's going down, but the whole point is that you're making really good buys. You're being really strategic with your limit orders. So again, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoins. You could buy $50, $50. I mean, if you were anywhere around here at $50 or anywhere down here, I mean, you're mitigating your risk. And I've been buying and selling, buying and selling and everything. But I still been buying while it was downtrending. And then I bought here, and I've been trading it all this time as well. And wow, this my purchase from my miner at this well, I think I was right around here. I saw it. It was kind of perfect timing. I can't meet my miner like right now. I have to schedule an appointment with him, because this is a physical, real world transaction. We're not sending each other money, or we're not wiring each other money. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff. I'm not depositing in his bank account. When I meet with my miner, I'm meeting him, and we transact in the real world. That's kind of how he wants to operate. It's which brings up a question: is a check, is a wire, is a cashier's check, is that legal tender? I don't know. I mean, I should ask my my attorney if a check, a wire, anything that's basically on a stored value device, is that legal tender? Because my miner will not accept any of that. And I have a feeling that probably most and all miners will not accept any checks, will not accept a credit card, will not accept cashier's check. I mean, when I met with my miner, he originally said, well, I can do, maybe a little bit in a cashier's check, but the rest of it has to be cash. Well, I informed him that even a cashier's check, money order, these are things that's been funded, right? They can all be reversed. They can still all be reversed. 30 days, 60 days out, I mean, it can be reversed. Pretty much anything on a paper stored value, on a paper device, it's pretty much a wire. All right, most of these things that are on a stored device are pretty much a wire, and with the current banking system, they can all be reversed. So I just want to give you a heads up on that, okay? And so, so I just happened to be buying at the right time, and this happened so quick. By the time that I got my 3 confirmations, the price already was this high, and I was like, wow, I just made a lot of money, and all I had to do was wait for 3 confirmations. Kind of interesting. So making because it's on a downtrend doesn't mean it it's not a good deal. You should not buy any Bitcoins, because the problem is you never know when you're going to get one of these. So if you've been buying anywhere around here, that's kind of, this range is probably what I've been buying Bitcoins, around this price range all throughout. Just I'm, kind of selectively kind of making my investments here. So anyways, let me go on to this, and this in particular. So you see the pop, and then it's going, and it popped, it broke out, and then it followed the downtrending line. It was above the downtrending line, which is kind of good news, but also kind of bad. But it never went below, or it did hit, but it never finished below, or never dropped below this. And then, I had to make several lines here, and then here, and then finally, as this thing started to come back up again, I was able to establish a good support line here. Now I'm just guessing, but it seems, this seems to be following this. And then guess what? We're in another triangle. See, another triangle. So we were down in this triangle, popped out. Now we're in another triangle right here, or in this bigger triangle. I mean, it's nothing but triangles within triangles. It's a lot of people compare it to fractals, or Fibonacci. I don't know how to say it, but if you've ever done that, I mean, it comes into just a bunch of triangles. But here it is, and it looks like it's supported right here around this pricing level, and it's done really well. It's bounced, it's hit, and it's finally turning up. Looks like it's turning up, and so now it's going to another triangle. So it's got to do, it's got to react in a certain way. It's going to break out of this triangle, and remember, this is the hard resistance. This is what's been dragging Bitcoin price down, besides Mt. Gox. But now that Mt. Gox is dead, finally, rest in peace. I mean, it was convulsing and shaking, and it was doing all sorts of stuff while it was dying. Finally, just rest in peace, and please, do not, I have to say, do not come back. I mean, it's you had your chance and you blew it. That's about all I can say about Mt. Gox. Anyway, Mt. Gox is over, so we're finished talking about that. So this is Bitstamp, and this triangle is getting really tighter. So you're going to probably see movement within these two price ranges around here. And let me zoom in here, at least to an hour, or maybe 2 hours. There are 2 hours right here. So this is a 2 hour, and you'll see that it's. And remember, I put these lines here, so of course it's all going to make sense. I'm just giving you my input on it. Do not trade on my information. Educate yourself. This is for documentary purposes or my video blog purposes. It was a request from a user that when I do my chart analysis, load it up right after. And since he's the only one making a comment and probably watching, I can oblige. That's not a problem. Someone asked, and I'll do it. I'm doing it right now. So it looks like it's going to an uptrend, and I'm hoping it does go up. There's a resistance. It's got to break through that resistance to go back officially on an uptrend. So you'll see that, interesting enough, that this resistance right here so far is around this top of this, and so it may hit up and then back off a little, but it has to break through this price level and finish above this price level, and that'll be a good start. A really confirmed breakout would be, okay, it's got to go above and beyond this price right here, and so it's got to break through, finish above this price line, and then on top of that, stay above, and hopefully it can reach this price. Now if it reaches this price, it may back off again a little, or it may just blow right through. So everyone be prepared. And I've been speaking to my miner, and he's, I've always been, I've been saying to infinity from the get-go. I mean, if you go ahead and watch from Bitcoin 01, Bitcoin Trade 01, to now, and I've been saying infinity. All right. So um, he's he feels very confident we'll go back up to 1,000. And he was telling me, probably next year from now, um, you know, uh, a Bitcoin will be 10,000, maybe. I know that's really high, but Bitcoin being 200 at one point, everyone thought that was high until it hit 1,000, and everyone thought that was high, and then of course it went down, but is 10,000 out of the question? Well, maybe that is kind of high. How about this? From 1,000 to 5,000. 5,000. That's doable. So I don't know. Again, I can't predict the future, but I've been hearing really positive, bullish news regarding Bitcoin. A lot of private mining investors have been acquiring more mining rigs. From my own experience, I've increased my volume in Bitcoin tremendously. And so if you remember if you've been watching my videos and you know what I've been trying to do, I've been trying to market Bitcoins out in the streets. Remember out in the streets, and I'm not talking about on a street corner. If you're doing that, you're a dumbass. I'm talking about Main Street and Wall Street. All right. So I'm marketing Bitcoins out into the streets, and I think it's gaining traction. And remember what I said: the more people use Bitcoins, the value of Bitcoins will exponentially increase. Exponential. All right. And for all those people who don't understand, please watch my video from the beginning to now. That's all I can say. And also buy a Bitcoin. Buy and trade Bitcoins. You have to experience this in order to understand it. And at first you may get, I'm going to warn everybody, okay? This is a warning. I'm going to do the same warnings like all the other governments around the world, that this is there's a risk involved. All right. There, a lot of cyber terrorists, financial terrorists. They're all lurking on the internet, and they're all trying to prey upon their next victim. All right. They're out there. They're real. I pause there for a minute because I want you to think about that before you even think about trading in Bitcoin. That they're real, and they will try to scam you. They will take your money. They'll take your Bitcoins, whatever. So you got to understand that. But at the same time, of course, I think that's true of people who don't trade in Bitcoins. Wire fraud and hacking and all this stuff. But this is that's my warning anyway, for anybody new who's trying to get into this. But you may get burned, was what I'm saying. But once you start trading and understanding what Bitcoin is and how it works, you're gonna get addicted. You're gonna get really involved in it, and it's gonna change your life. I keep saying it's changed my life, and I can be a witness to that. That's my testimony. It's changed my life, literally. So there's the analysis on that. And let's go through some of the other exchanges. This is Bitsy, and this is on 2 hour, but let's go to 12 hour, or at least okay. So although this is also Bitcoin, but different exchange, different graph. If you look at the hard line, you notice it's got a way more time to way more price So Bitsy is kind of like a value, but at the same time, you know, I had somebody warn me not to trade at Bitsy. So, and that person was right about Mt. Gox. So, um, you know, I have to just say I'm gonna have to trust his or whoever. I'm gonna have to trust that source of information because it's been correct in the past. All right, but um, you know, there you go. But I am gonna show you a chart because it does help in a trade. Okay, so this is Bitsy, and I'm probably gonna make one more line here because this line needs to be here, and here. There we go. There we go. I missed that one. So same thing, except this is the hard line, which has a lot of room to hit. So it's kind of like a little value play here on the Bitsy chart. So that's hitting up, and then the support here is a little different. I mean, as far as this and this, let me see here. It does the same thing. Anybody who put their stops or limit order right here around this line, kudos to you. I'm sure you're all enjoying your profits by now if you stayed in. But I'm seeing a little something different here. The support here is more of an up channel support and kind of falls in line to here. You know, just kind of makes a lot of sense. This does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But anyways, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in here to a 2 hour. Okay, so you could kind of see what's going on, and it's the same thing. It's a little different, but same thing. And of course, it broke out. It actually went even a little higher than the original breakout, and then it came back down, and it was following this channel. But as you see, it's turning. People are starting to realize, well, it broke out. There's maybe a good chance that it's turning, and it's slowly, you know, going up on this uptrend line. And again, it's another triangle. So we're going to probably see price bounce up and down. It needs to do the same thing. It needs to go above this price, or it needs to hit that, which is, if you look at it, I mean, weird how chart analysis works. It has to finish higher than here, which is breaking up here past this, and then on top of that, it does have to go this much higher. All right, at this price level right here. Let me see if I can show you at that price. Okay, so around 700. So same scenario, and this is something new. This is let me see here. It's there you go. It's Bitfinex. I don't know how to say it. And the reason I found this was because let me see if this shows. Oh, there we go. Now where everything's back to green again, everyone, except for Mt. Gox. I wish they would get rid of that Mount. Excuse me. I wish they would get rid of that Mt. Gox. It's really in the way, but everything's green again, and you're seeing that the average price has gone below that. And the price itself has gone up. So, you know, we've just been ranging for the most part. But Bitstamp, the volume Bitstamp, and then Beneflex, I haven't heard until now. Obviously, this is a replacement Mt. Gox. So, what I love about Bitcoin is if an exchange falls, there's another exchange to replace it. Okay, and so Bitfinex, I've done some research on it, and it seems to be based. I think it's out of Hong Kong. So the Hong Kong market is very hot. So you know what I plan to do when I go global. I'm gonna go to the places where there's that exchange. In particular, I'm not going to go to these areas, or I don't know if I'll ever go to China, but this Hong Kong, I might open up operations in Hong Kong because you know this is going to make easy for people in there to do it, and of course you know it's U.S. dollars. So there's that. So that's where I got that, and I say, wow, you know, I'm looking for an exchange that has good volume. And so again, we're back to 3 major exchanges, and then there's Bitsy, but that's where I found this, and it happens to be on and where you get it is you have to go into where is it? Oh, okay, right here. It says markets right here, and then you got all these different other markets, and you know, there they are, right there. And they do mostly Bitcoin and then Litecoin. That's kind of like their thing. So, and another thing you'll notice is the Coinbase. And I'll get to that a little bit later, but let's do this chart analysis here. This one's a little different. This is the hard resistant line, and it's hit up against that resistant line. So, and it looks like it's going to break out. So this chart for this exchange is showing a breakout of this top resistance, this downward top resistance. It's showing an actual break, starting to show a breakout of that, which is this is the only chart that's really doing well. This is the chart. This particular chart is showing that versus the other charts. And then this, again, the two supports. I mean, look at it. It's exactly support where it should be, which I've been mentioning. If you look from my previous episodes, these are really, this right here, this support line right here, really good support. And kudos to anybody who was listening and taking advantage of this. You just made a lot of money. That's if you kept on holding on to it. So this looks like it's breaking out and it's an uptrend. All right, this particular chart. So I'll zoom into a 2 hour, and it's just been dancing, and it's kind of breaking out. So here's another chart that you can use to make your trades. So this is a really good uptrend, positive sign. And then finally, I'm gonna go to Coinbase. Now Coinbase, it's not really an exchange, but because I am in America, and what I've been doing is, you know, since Mt. Gox has fallen, I've been pulling, when I'm done trading, I'm pulling my Bitcoins out of that exchange. Or when I make a buy and I'm going to hold on to it, I'm taking my Bitcoins out. And I'm basically, they're sitting at Coinbase. Okay? Because I know at any given time, and you're going to have to experiment with, you know, if you have a bank account, you're going to have to experiment with the different banks and make some, you know, cash out, see if they accept the cash, make a buy, see if they'll let you buy, because not all banks will allow you to do this. Okay, so you know, that's just my 2 satoshis worth of information. So, but you know, I'm pulling my coins back to America because, I just feel safer. All right, and if you look at the price here, that is the price, and then these 2 prices here, well, that's how much it's going to cost you to buy, because they add like I think 1% and then whatever fee. So when you see this, that's the buy price and that's the sell price. So at least you can see it here. What's nice is you can see that it's doing the same thing, and I'll back out. They don't have a lot of information, so I think they've been kind of in it. So I have to do a 12 hour, but again, you're looking at the hard resistance here. It's breaking out. So I put another line in for the from this top to here for another. So Coinbase has already broken out of this resistance. Of course, I don't have all the information though, so I have to only go by this. So this is kind of, you know, there's nothing else back here to look at. That's all I got. So that's it. So even Coinbase is showing a breakout and then a slow uptrend going up. And let's just put into 2 hour now, and then that's what you're seeing. So use this chart if you have an account at Coinbase. And I usually I don't really use it to trade, but I do use it to get an idea of a trend. And also, from time to time, you've got to convert your Bitcoins to cash. Well, now I know how much I can get for it. This is the sell price right here. So I know if I sell out now, it's going to be $336.91. And if I buy, it's going to be $654.82. So this gives me a great idea. If for some reason I can't, get Bitcoins from my miner, or nobody wants to sell me Bitcoins, but I want to buy Bitcoins, I know I have access to it. It's not the greatest price, but if you're seeing a trend upward, well, that's what you want to buy, right? And this is more of a longer term trade that you got to do, because when you buy, they don't give you the Bitcoins until like almost a week later. So you got to be pretty confident that you're on an uptrend. So people who trade with Bitcoins, and you have Coinbase, you got to be you got to trade as a on a trend. Basically, you're holding on to these for more than 1 minute. That's all I can say. Basically you're doing a weekly play on the price action of Bitcoin. So I've bought it, from Coinbase, okay, and I've sold on Coinbase. So I do feel a little bit more confident in my trades, just because just the fact alone that I have a Coinbase account here. Let me just put that Coinbase account. I feel more confident. I know that at the end of the day, my Bitcoins are very safe with Coinbase. I've seen a lot of interviews with the owner and how they operate. A lot of cold storing, and anything they have hot, I'm sure if it ever was compromised, that they can survive. All right. So that's that, and that's just the same analysis. But it's kind of interesting that all the charts I've shown you, they're all a little different, but at the same time, basically almost the same. But that's what I like about trading in Bitcoin, is that they're independent of each and every exchange, even independent of my real world trades. When I actually go and sell or buy in the real world. All right. And so there's that. So that concludes this episode here. I think there may be, was there one more chart I wanted to show you? There was, but I'll talk about it later. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next, comment, like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Until the next time, stay tuned. Bye.